Video games. I really want to do more reviews, but I just find it hard to do so when I've got so many other stuff to review. But I try. But when I finally get the chance to do so, I am more than happy to. And and it pretty much makes sense. I'm mostly sticking with stuff with Nintendo because that's where I mainly stick with. Massive reviews here, and let's get on with today's review for one of the most recent Nintendo games released. Princess Peach Showtime. Yeah, I played this. I decided to buy it. I thought, why not? So I was in the middle of just getting through play through Persona 5 Royal, and then I figured I might as well throw something else in my spare time when I'm not playing the that art massive RPG. Yeah, and which I absolutely adore. Sorry, this is Persona 5 Royal review, but yeah, I figured I might as well give this a go because I figured, what the hell, I don't mind playing stuff like this every now and then. So this is the second video game that Princess Peach has been the main star. The previous one being Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS. And I know a lot of people, especially reviewers online, aren't a big fan of it. And let me start by saying that, yeah, it's probably one of the strangest games out there. Um, say it wasn't bad. I mean, it played fine. It was pretty good platform here and there. Had some unique concepts, and it was nice. It was the first time. It was the first time ever that Peach was the main character in the game. Ever led a game, you know. I mean, basically, it's what you think. Peach rescuing Mario from Bowser, along with Luigi and a few other Toads. The problem was that a lot of people found the way she went about the game being very strange. With her emotions being the main source of her power. Yeah, it was strange, especially with some of the way how she had solved puzzles and all that. And then again, it was pretty hard. I'm not sure if if you had issues with it, but I found it very hard to 100% complete that game. I got stuck a bunch of times, especially with the hey, especially with how many toads you need to have in order to save Mario from Bowser. And then, of course, you got the story of Peach's parasol. Jeez. Let's just not go into that. I don't I can't believe it, and even the fact that it's so unresolved and all that. Bad. Anyway, also just want to double check: was did Alpha Dream, the people who made the Mario and Luigi series, make Super Princess Peach? Because I feel like they were the same graphics, especially with the DS games. Even though I know Super Princess Peach came before Partners in Time, which was the first of the DS series, DS games. But anyway, so I think this Super Princess Peach came out 2005 or 2006. So yeah, it's been 17 to 18 years since, well, almost 20 years since the last time was the starring character. Had a starring, had her own video game, and yeah, I figured why not. In fact, and this time instead of doing the bare minimum, which is what Super Princess Peach did, this time they try something different with Peach going to a theater and getting trapped inside and must from a mysterious entity known as Grape. Okay, we're going that not a good name for a villain. And must save the inhabitants in there by going into the various stage productions and rest and keeping and saving, preventing Grape from taking over the place and or shows, whatever, movies, whatever. I don't care. With her new ally Stella. Um, yeah, I think it's all right. And, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like, it's good to try something original here and there. Although, and I mean, I do like the setting of the place. I think having going around a theater is a great idea. The although and yeah, although it's clear to say this is easily there is one thing that I think is in order for you to like this, if you're going to fully enjoy this, you're going to have to enjoy the main gimmick. And well, let's uh, let's discuss it. So in this game, in order to complete the levels, Peach must transform into the main protagonist of each production that she enters. So basically, she has to become integrate herself in the genre. And well, okay, which is interesting to say the least. But why not I just show you what some of these what some of these look like. So just so you know, I'm not having it playing any sound in this because I don't want to risk getting copyright right playing on this video. Not that I have issues with it in other videos I've done. But anyway, so in this among the levels there are in total a total of 10 10 10 plays or productions you can enter. I and of them you and of them the plays you enter involve consist of sword fighting, ninjas, uh, cowboys, cooking. Strange choice, but well, whatever. In cooking shows and all that. A miss detectives, ice skating. Actually, no, I meant thieves, so robberies. Um, you've got martial arts, you've or superheroes, mermaids. The another one. This one is kung fu. Yeah, so those are the 10 plus whatever boss levels each of the floors have. In total, there are 5 floors plus the bottom floor, which is for the special levels, along with a couple of mini games here and there to spend more time with controlling Peach. I'll have a bit more fun, I should say. You obviously collect coins from this and the special emblems, which are used to unlock further levels as well, and get to the boss levels as well. Along with also finding a some special ribbons that unlock allow you to change the color palette of either Peach or Stella. But collecting coins will also unlock new colors, new dresses for Peach and well Stella as well. Well Stella being ribbons. Or at the very end of the game, you also unlock the ninja trials where you have to find 3 hidden ninjas hidden among the levels as an excuse to go back. You can also, at the very end, after being the final boss the first time, use the remaining medals you've collected that you haven't spent to get into the boss levels to purchase decorations for the theater for each floor, excluding the bottom if I'm correct. Now, with that said, it sounds like there is a fair bit to do in this, but in total, this game is very, very short. Like seriously, you can get through this game in I almost would have to say at the very least a day if you were committed to it. I mean, I'm not that sort of person who likes to play everything all at once in one day, unless it's a retro game, which I have no problem with. I mean, seriously, whenever I've played, when I decide to give a shot of Sonic, or I actually did that in one day and had no issues, along with Wii Sport. No, not Wii Sports, Wii Music. That was a joint effort with me and my brother. But but you know, it, if you if you at the very least have the time, you know, it's still charm to go back. If you enjoy it, I guess you could go back and play the levels and enjoy the different gimmicks. But with that said, that's only if you want to, because as I said, there are technically only 3 levels for each of the transformations, along with the 5 bosses in this and the occasional mini games. So I guess, but and with that said, I don't think all these plays and productions are well, the gimmicks they aren't all that well. It's very rocky, let's just say the least. not all of these level concepts are, they're very hit and miss. In terms of the ones I do like, I mean, there are some of these plays I actually really enjoy, and I don't mind playing every now and playing them. Like personally, I think some of the best ones are more so the action orientated levels. The sword, the sword, the uh, the sword levels, which is probably the first that was shown off in trailers and all that, is actually pretty fun. I mean, you get to enjoy. I mean, it's basically almost like a beat 'em up, both. And I think this is also the first time that excluding Smash Bros. A Mario characters actually fought with a sword. And to be fair, I think that it's actually fun to enjoy, and I have a lot of fun playing. Have a lot of fun just hacking and slashing everything everywhere. I mean, the combat's fine. It's just fun to enjoy, and I just like beating up enemies. It's all pretty good. I enjoy. So yeah, the sword fighting is probably is easily one of the best in the game. But it's also not the best. There are just two I like. I get a lot of good kicks out of the ninja levels. I love just it's interesting just to see Peach camouflage herself to avoid cover, being able to jump between walls and all that, and just her added mobility and all that is pretty fun. And once again, just taking down all the enemies with her skills like that is also handled pretty well. And I think it's all pretty fun, and I get a lot of kicks out of it. It's great. The ninja stuff works. I also get a kick for the levels that go a bit more cinematic, like the Thief and superhero levels. And the Thief one is great when I can just have fun with using Peach's grappling hook and when she has to use a paraglide to escape her heist. That's pretty fun. They get a lot. I get a few kicks out of that one. And the mini game associated with the hang glide is actually pretty fun. But yeah, so that they're great. And as a fan of superheroes and and galactic and space movies, I get a lot of good kicks out of those levels as well. Well, basically the superhero level in general. They get some good cinematic shots, and it's fun to just beat up villains and all that with Peach's punches and flying around with a jetpack in one level in space. They're pretty fun. I get a lot of kicks out of them. But the thing is, if you've noticed with what I give credit to, all the levels I seem to enjoy all the action stages because those fall along with the cowboy, the cowboy and kung fu uh, plays all involve action, are more action orientated, and they get a lot of. I can just have fun with them and just mess around. These other ones, which are a bit more puzzle orientated and slower, yeah, they can really drag. I mean, it should be worth knowing that before she even gets to use the sparkle transformations, Peach only can really jump very smallly and has a weak little spin with thanks to Stella here. So yeah, there's not really much mobility, which whatever, but still, I think I honestly don't mind just having those sorts of things when I have to instead of going through the level things I don't like. I personally just can't stand the baking ones. It's just all you're really doing is just you just button mashing to make cookies and cakes. And while the cakes it's not too bad, mostly just because of the fact you have to just briefly follow the instructions and just try your best not to mess up the icing. The cookies one can go really Baking cookies can absolutely be a pain because you have to be very precise when you stop mashing the buttons because if you don't, you're going to screw up and it's most likely not going to get all the stars if you want to 100% complete it. Which I did in this case because, as I said, this game is quite short, and I just figured it's best I go for 100% completion, other than not other than just like just not even bothering going that route and just doing what I need to do, and just only do it after I complete the main game. Yeah, this is probably easily one. Yeah, the baking one. It's a shame that this is also one of the ones they advertise the most of this game. Like seriously, I mean, it's not that fun. There are much funner things to play. Why is this one of the main ones that the game so easily advertised? Like seriously, what's so special about baking? Yeah, Peach is known to bake cakes, but come on, you need to make this one of the main gameplay styles in this game. Come on. Well, personally, that doesn't compare to the mermaid levels. I mean, I will say this: the game is, as I said, I think the controls work fine. And swimming underwater with as a mermaid isn't really bad. I mean, it's not like Kingdom Hearts, Atlantica and Kingdom Hearts, where it's just a tonal, where it's just an absolute slog to get through. Like the mermaid levels are fine they're fine to play. But here's the thing: if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts, you obviously know that in KH2 they decided to change Atlantica, making it an underwater rhythm level. And guess what? Nintendo decided it was to do that concept themselves and integrate at the end of every level to do an underwater rhythm game of sort. I mean, it's nothing too difficult. I mean, it's not like you have to, match the beat to a specific song, but come on, I mean, it's still just as tedious. And if you're not an expert on QuickTime like I am, especially when you're playing these for the first time and you want to go 100% completion, yeah, you're gonna get very annoyed. Some of these fish that you have to save just get really, whatever. Like seriously, they really just drag. Doesn't help also all the other mini game, well the other two levels also aren't that good. The ice game uh theme is okay, but when you have to hit certain targets and the screen is scrolling, that's where things can get really difficult. As well as also rescuing all the other ice skaters. And the detective story, detective levels, or as I like to call them, the Sherlock Peach levels, are fine, but they're pretty slow, and you can basically tell what you have to do with each level. You know, they're nothing really special. And at last, you have the boss fights. I mean, they're fine. To be honest, I like they start off well. I mean, the first boss is actually pretty cool, being more of an obstacle course in order to survive, in order to beat the boss. But that's good. But then a lot of the other ones go for have a bit of a puzzle element, but they also a bit more combat orientated. And yeah, that's when things get a little bit a little bit weak, especially with certain ones. And the final boss, which I'm not going to show, is basically almost identical to how the final boss in the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed was handled. Yeah, if you remember how that went, I mean, because which was which I mean, especially with how it goes for 2D space, yeah, because this is a 2D game, you can pretty much guess what's actually going to happen with that game, with how the boss is handled. I mean, graphically the game looks good, and I mean it looks colourful and it's handled well, and I think it looks fine even in dock mode. Although for both dock and on the big screen, the loading times are very hit or miss, to be fair. But the soundtrack is very weak. I mean, you say what you want to say about Super Princess Peach, and although not all the themes were great in it and they're not memorable, I still enjoyed the soundtrack for that game. And with the instrument quality of the DS was handled well, and I enjoyed listening to it. But with this though, not so much. Like seriously, you could just put this with anything, and it just doesn't feel special. Yeah, I don't really care too much about the soundtrack. Track. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, if this game isn't that difficult, you'll breeze through it pretty well. And it's yeah. Also, side note, Peach's voice actress, went for certain transformations, like the cowboy transformation. the voice line she gives are very weird. I don't know. I'm not too much of a big fan of some of the voice direction for certain transformations. So yeah, um, yeah, that's 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 basically all I wrote down for my notes. So you must be thinking I probably don't like this, don't like Princess Peach Showtime. Well, I just think this is just middle of the road. It's fine. I'm pretty sure little kids can enjoy this. But if you're a Mario fan and you're excited to see Peach get her own game again for the first time in a long time, you're going to be very disappointed by this. In fact, honestly, I think just play Super Princess Peach again because yeah, it's strange and weird, but honestly, it's more ambitious and it's a much longer game. Just saying, give it another shot. I gave it another shot and I actually had a lot more fun than I thought I did. But yeah, I mean, it is easier time to at least get complete the game, 100% complete the game. Actually, complete the game in general because there's not too much of a big roadblock to get to the final boss. But yeah, I would if unless you're a diehard Peach fan, maybe wait till this is probably at a price drop. Like really, wait till this gets on a price drop. Either or get this pre-owned or something like that. Just saying. Or I don't know if you're in the middle of playing a long game like an RPG or a sandbox game or something like that. Throw this in just to pass the time when you're waiting for your friends to when you need a break from that. You know, this is a 5 out of 10 has stars in my view. It's unfortunate I didn't really review a better video game, but I just figured I want to give it a just to get might as well give my own thoughts on it. You know. Besides, maybe hopefully next time I do a video game review, I can be a bit more go for something bigger. And if you're thinking that I might be doing Persona 5 Royal, well, I would like to, but I feel like I want to need a lot more time before I get to that. I'm just saying, because, I've got a lot to say about that. In fact, honestly, there's my whole concept of doing a video on Persona 5 Royal would be a little bit different, you know? So, just saying. So, what's next? In them, I'm not sure really. I mean, there's probably in case it is another review of a film in theaters or something else, I might have I might do something. Uh, I might do another video that has some sort of connection with Nintendo. I'm just not sure if or when I'll be able to finish that. But in the meantime, House of Mouse Reviews is out, and I shall see you for my next video. Ciao.